Greetings, everyone. How's everyone doing on this beautiful evening? This is Fard Mahdi, Supreme X, and this is a pre-recorded video that we're about to watch that's dealing with tokenized real estate, breaking down what is tokenized real estate, and showing the vast growing industry of tokenized real estate over the blockchain. And we are in a ecosystem, gold standard bank in the G999 blockchain. And what you're about to see today is one of our partners by the name of John Johnson, who is a expert in real estate, been in real estate many, many years, and he's also a gold standard partner. And he is been in the industry for over 25 years, and he's going to break down the numbers and the major benefits of getting involved in our tokenized real estate project that is exclusively only for GS partners. If you're not a GS partner, you cannot research and do any Google about this information. We solely have all of the information about this project, and we are the ones who have the privilege to be able to buy luxury real estate in Dubai. So please take copious notes, uh, stay through the whole event, and listen carefully because he is going to break down all the potential income, passive income stream that is involved in this project, and get back with whoever lead you to this stream, whoever share this video with you, get back with them because they are probably already in and they can get you set up so you can partake in one of the growing, fastest moving cities in the world in the heart of Dubai. So let me get out of the way and let Mr. John Johnson show you the numbers and what we are doing and how we are absolutely flat out mind blown by this massive, massive opportunity. Thank you.
I was worried about will I be able to share my screen. Thank you so much for that introduction, Nitsa. I've been working with Nitsa here for the last several months since March. I'm telling you, she's amazing at everything she does. She's got what 30 years or so experience in this industry. I've got about 5, like she said, but I was kind of a quick study. I've been in sales my entire life. When most people, I'm going to date myself here. I'm dating myself, Nita. When I was 8 years old, remember the paper routes? I don't know if anybody ever had a paper route. You know, back then we actually had little kids delivering paper because it seemed so safe. And so throwing papers on strangers' front yards and stuff. Um, I did the paper route for a little bit, but I actually ended up shortly thereafter going into sales. I sold donuts door to door for months and months in a place called Ogden, Utah. After that, I ran a jewelry store when I was 16 years old. I managed some pizza places about 18 years old. And I've been in sales. I sold for US Bank for a while. I've been in sales, been a sales trainer pretty much my entire life. I went into real estate. And the interesting thing is when I got my appraiser license way back when, I decided that I didn't want to just do appraisals with my wife and I wanted to branch out. And so we trained multiple appraisers. So I went through the school. It's called John Bryant School in Georgia. So anybody that knows appraising or real estate, you may know who John Bryant is. He just recently retired, actually. But anyway, I went through his class, went through his school, and then I trained about 30 to 35 appraisers. And we just started a huge appraisal business in Georgia. Then we branched out into Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, about 13 states. And we started doing so much volume. We became the first appraisal management company, really, before management companies even existed. We kind of set the tone and set the pace for it. So where appraisers were doing maybe 15 to 20 appraisals a week. We were doing hundreds and hundreds of appraisals a week throughout the entire Southeast. I took that same platform and concept, moved to Utah a few years after, and then started the same program in Utah. And very shortly, we became the largest appraisal company in the state of Utah. I went ahead and also got my sales license as a realtor and a license as a loan officer, not so I could do loans, but I wanted to understand real estate like the back of my hand, which I now very much do. And I've done a lot of consulting, things of that sort in real estate. So it's been something that's been a big part of my life with real estate. And in fact, my wife is still doing appraisals to this day. She's doing them today, actually. So big, it's been our bread and butter for years. And I'm excited to talk about real estate today and XLT and the tokenization of real estate and how it works. But before I get into that, I want to talk about something that's very serious. I was just in California this week and drove through a lot of neighborhoods. And as we're driving through these neighborhoods, we noticed like none of these houses are up for sale. And it was really odd. Usually, even a year and a half ago, you drive around in different large cities, you see a lot of different sale signs and things of that sort. But we're driving around all these neighborhoods and we're looking for any house for sale. Not that we were trying to buy in the neighborhood. We were just curious because we like to pull flyers and see what the prices are in different regions of the country when we're traveling and stuff like that. But we saw very, very few for sale signs. And it all goes along with this. There's been a shortage of real estate, and it's started really since 2008. 267,000 less houses being built in America right now. But on top of that, a lot of people are holding on to their house. A lot of people aren't moving right now because questions in, well, COVID was part of it. Also questions in the economy, things, uncertainty, things of that. It always kind of creates a little scare. So right now, it's hard to get your hands on real estate. And because of that, it's opening this door for the tokenization of real estate. In fact, one of my good friends, McKenna, she's the daughter of my business partner, Larry, who I've known for over 20 years. She just took a job at Provident. Provident's the second largest lender in the country right now. And she was closing millions of dollars a month in deals in Atlanta, Georgia. And they said, listen, we don't want you doing loans your first year and a half. We want you to learn the blockchain in the first year and a half. That's what we want you to do. Learn the blockchain, become an expert in blockchain, and then help train the rest of our company in blockchain. That's where we want you. And then you can start working on loans, but we're going to do them through smart contracts and through the blockchain. If Provident Lending is going to blockchain, they're the second largest lender in the country right now, followed by Stearns and a couple others. They're all following suit. Everything's going to the blockchain, including real estate. We've got to pay very close attention to this. And if you're an investor and you want to be in front of the $1.4 trillion market that I believe is inevitable over the next couple of years, and it's not just me saying this, there's all sorts of reports out there. Every time you look and you're reading about this tokenization of real estate, what we are essentially doing is we are we're inviting you to the big boy table, because fractionalization of real estate has been happening for a long time, for decades. In Park City, I live close to Park City, you can buy resorts and fractions and things of that sort. The problem has always been, though, you have to purchase a minimum amount, you still have to be qualified, all of these different things have to happen, and it was still the big boys only doing it. Now anybody can do it because of what Joseph Haidt is doing with our tokenization. Our tokenization is set up a little bit differently than everyone else's. Because of that, as Nitsa said, this is a private sale for members only. There's a maximum that members can put into this, 9.9 million, versus others where they can bring in a lot more money for whatever they want to purchase. We have different rules and stuff. We're set up a certain way, to give us the ability to open it up to more people, to smaller people, $99 and up. $99 and up, you can own real estate, which is, and it's not just real estate, it's commercial real estate. If you've been following Mr. Height at all, which I have, in fact, I spoke with him for about an hour and a half one-on-one just last Thursday, and we spoke a lot about the real estate. We spoke a lot about the white label that I'll be mentioning later in this call. And we really got into depth because he's a real estate mogul. He owns a lot of real estate. A lot of rich people own real estate because it keeps them rich. A lot of people who want to become wealthy are looking for ways to get into real estate. I can't think of a better way to get into real estate right now than tokenization, because it's bringing you into cryptocurrency, it's helping you learn about the blockchain, and it's bringing you all into real estate, and it's doing it for $99. $99 and up. It's absolutely incredible. But Joseph Height, the market for tokenized real estate is highly dynamic. This comes from our chairman of the board, who is also a self-made billionaire, made it in gold, made it in real estate, made it in investments and things of that sort. He understands money. Number one rule in business, follow those who can, not those who talk about it, but those who do it, actually do it. People that have made extreme wealth, you follow what they do, follow their lead. And I'm very excited. I've had a lot of success in my life, and I credit it to a lot of things, but a lot of it was this. I just followed people. My first mentor was my uncle David, who became a multi-millionaire, and he did it with real estate. He did it with other things as well, factoring other companies he had. And I just kind of started thinking like he thought, and I started asking him a lot of questions and, working hard and things of that sort. You are sitting in front of an opportunity right now to take advantage of something huge. And here's the thing about it is, it's primed to take off. Because look at this article right now, the real estate shortage. This is what I was talking about when I was driving through California. I saw very few listings. Here in my neighborhood, there's not a single house listed for sale in my neighborhood right now. And when the house did sell across the street, it sold for about 40, 50,000 above listing price. There was a bidding war for the house because people need a place to live. So right now, if you look at new developments going up, you see a lot of apartment complexes being built, a lot of townhomes being built in a lot of areas right next to or in the same subdivisions that they're building new single family houses. Single family meaning they're not attached, they're detached. They're detached from, being a townhome or whatever, but they're building a lot of townhomes. They're building a lot of, because people can't afford the single family dwellings right now because the prices have gone way up because of the shortage of real estate. This opens up the doors wide open for investors looking for alternative means, which is the tokenization of real estate. Not only are they getting a great deal on it, they're getting it at the perfect time. And we're going to talk a lot about timing as well. But anytime there is a problem or an issue or a shortage or anything like that, there's always a solution. Right now, the solution is tokenized real estate. And we have it so uniquely set up. And that's what I want to talk about. That's why, listen, I can go anywhere and get tokenized real estate. I know of other sources. I know of other platforms, but they're not set up like this one. This one is very unique because in most tokenized real estate opportunities, there's one coin, and that one coin represents the building itself. And in that, for example, there's a group out of Chicago. There's one out of Florida. I have spoken with both places, actually. I've done my homework like I should because I've been in real estate. I know which questions to ask. So as I went through my list of questions and I'm asking them this, and I learned about their token and their opportunity. One of them had a $50,000 minimum. Hey, you start with $50,000 and you have to be approved. That was one of them. Another one started at $25,000. You have to have X amount of dollars. You have to get approved. Okay, great. Very normal, very typical. And then after that, you can fractionalize it. You can buy in pieces. And you're going to receive a yield or a percentage on that building. And that's all you're going to receive. Whatever that building produces, that revenue, you will receive a yield on that revenue. And it's usually anywhere from about 6 to 9% is very typical in tokenization. So if you're in that range, you're good. And that's pretty average range. But the problem is, when I spoke with them, I'm like thinking about it, like, wait a minute. So you've got one token, that token represents your real estate. outside of your real estate, can I make money any other way? I said, well, no, you can refer somebody and we'll pay you 2%. I said, okay, great. Any others? They said, no, that's pretty much it. I said, all right, great. And that's pretty much par for the course. That's what it is straight across the board. Until you learn about our real estate, because we have a second token, a second coin called G999. And with our second coin, you can use it as collateral for your real estate. And I want to really dive into that, but we're going to do that in a moment. I'm going to show you multiple ways to earn, all starting with $99 of real estate and up. That's what's so extremely exciting about this. Because right now, if you want to get into commercial real estate, it is expensive. It is a lot of money down. And if you think real estate is competitive, get into commercial real estate. It is 10 times more competitive because not a lot of people have hundreds of millions of dollars to buy these massive buildings. They just don't. There's not that many buyers because they can't afford it. So they're priced out of commercial. People don't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to invest in real estate and go straight into commercial. They usually start with residential. In the residential markets right now, because of the housing shortage, residential has even gotten harder, which tells you what? The guys that made bank in residential, they're looking at commercial because they can't find anything in residential. There's not that many houses available. And if you do find them, they're in what they call the shadow market, which is a market before the market. It's called the shadow market because you can't see them. And unless you know somebody who knows someone who knows someone, you're not going to know about those houses. So by the time they're listed on the multiple listing service, they've been looked at by hundreds of investors, maybe thousands in your area, that all said no to that house. If that house becomes available on the MLS and it's an income producing property, you can assume there may be something wrong with that house. More so, the repairs probably outweigh the revenue they believe that house will generate. That's why it's been turned down in the shadow market. That's why it made it to the MLS. Okay, these are things that most investors just don't know unless you've been in the game as long as I have. And anyone who's invested and know about the shadow market, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So how does that make it fair for everyone? It doesn't. That's the problem. It's not even slate for everyone. It just isn't. That's why tokenization is so freaking cool. And the way we're doing it, we're talking about no credit checks, no closing costs, no down payments, no management company fees, no bidding wars, higher yields, instant payouts to you. Sounds almost too good to be true. I get it, but you know what? So did Bitcoin. So did blockchain technology. So did Ethereum and all of the others. Because of the blockchain, because of things like the smart contracts, we have the ability to do this. We're taking an old form of fractionalization and we're tokenizing it through the blockchain like many others. So what makes us unique and different? What makes us unique and different is I'm going to show you 37, I'm going to say it again, 37 potential streams of income on today's call. 37 potential streams of residual income, all was starting with a $99 real estate purchase. And you're thinking, no way, John. And guess what? There's no catch, because I'm not saying 99 is going to turn into 20, 50, 100,000. No, $99, you do it 5 times, and you can open yourself up to 37 potential streams of income. It's insane. Whereas every other tokenized project has one, the revenue from their building, and that's it. Before we get into that, however, let's talk a lot. People love options. One thing, I've been in sales a long time. I was hired years ago. I had a good friend of mine. He wanted to set up this wellness center. So he brought me in and said, John, I want, I know you're really good at sales and marketing and da-da-da-da. He said, I want your take on this. I want your input. And he told me all about the wellness center, what he wants to do. And I just asked him questions. I said, okay, well, who's your demographic? What's this, your plan as a consultant. I said, what you need to do is you need to put up a menu and you need to give people options. People love options. They loved it. And I went through the whole thing. He absolutely loved it. Well, real estate, the same thing. You have options. Option number one, you can say, all right, you know what? I don't care if there's a shortage of properties. I want to get a rental property. If you were to ask me right now, John, are you buying rental properties? The answer is no. I'm buying XLT. I'm not. I have zero interest in rental properties right now. Now that's crazy for someone like me to say, because I've had multiple rental properties. I love rental properties. I love rental income, but I love XLT anymore. And you're going to see why here very shortly, because I'm looking at the options too. As a real estate expert, I'm saying, okay, option number one, I can go, and I know the average house cost in America right now is $287. Now, it's going to be different in different countries, but the average house cost in America is about $287,000. Option number one, I can take a loan out. So I can go and say, all right, here's a second home. Knowing my second home, my interest is going to be higher than my primary residence, because when banks look at that, they do a risk analysis. If this is how banks look at it. If John has an issue with his business, or he's losing money somewhere, or he runs into a rough patch, he's going to allow himself to lose his rental properties before he allows himself to lose the property he lives in, right? It makes sense. Most people will do that. So that's how banks look at it. So you're not going to get prime rate. You're not going to get the best interest rate. You're going to get prime plus 1 to 3% and higher, depending on what your credit score is and all sorts of different factors, right? Different variables. You're going to need to put at least 20% down on this house if you can find the house. But here's a problem. You're probably competing against multiple investors that can pay cash, because most of these guys have been around a long time and they're paying cash. If you go and you make an offer, say, you know what, I'm taking out a loan, it's going to close in 30 days. And then someone comes right behind you with a cash offer. Which one do you think they're going to take? They're going to accept the cash offer 10 out of 10 times. They always, cash is king in real estate. Cash is king. But you don't have cash because you don't have loads of money. Fine. You say you find a house, wonderful. You put the 20% down. These are the numbers I always analyze, I look at. That would take my mortgage to about $229,000, which would make my payment about $1,450 a month if I have really good credit. On top of that, I need a management company that I'm going to pay 8 to 10% of my rent, which the average rent in the United States is about $1,850 a month. So that's for house rent. Apartment's about $1,098. $1,850. I pay 8% of that in management fees. So I subtract that from my mortgage payment, and I'm making a whopping $252 a month on the house. Not really though, because what happens with houses? Wear and tear, especially when you have tenants. How many of you have had a rental home? If you want to type in RH, rental home, go ahead, type it in the chat. RH, if you've ever had a rental home. How many of you ever had tenants? Type in T. Because you know the tenants are going to call you at some point and say, hey, there's a tear in the carpet, the refrigerator's not working, the water heater just went out, something's wrong with the house, you need repairs. You've got to put a budget together for repairs. The tenant doesn't pay for all the repairs. Many times you do. Sometimes they do, depending on what it is, but the wear and tear, you pay for it. Sometimes you pay for utilities as well. But let's just say you're making $252 a month on that house. If you do the math on it, you times that by 12 months, you're making $3,000 a year on that house. You're making about a 1.5% yield. 1.5% yield with all those headaches. That's what you're making on that house. Now you have option two. You can be that cash purchaser. You can say, you know, I'm going to just $287,000 in cash, and I'm going to pay for it all together. So now I'm going to collect all the $1,850 minus my management fee, minus maybe some cost for repairs, and I'm making, I'm making over $1,000 a month. I'm pretty happy, right? And yeah, that's not bad. Say you're making $1,700 a month on that. You multiply that by 12 months, divided by the sales price, you're making a 7.1% yield. But you got to put $287,000 down. What if you can make an 8% yield with zero down? What if you can make around 8% with $99 and up? That's what we're talking in a commercial building. Here's the difference too. If I'm looking at a private residence, I'm looking at rental income. That's it. My yield is all based off rental income. That's it. That's the only source of income. In a commercial property, however, there's more sources of income. There's the rent. There's the, if they have cafes, if they have different, there's other forms of revenue coming into that building over and above just the rent. So your yield, that's why people love commercial. Number two, you don't have to hire a management company to deal with it all. They already have one set up. You don't have to deal with the tenants. You don't have to deal with all of this stuff. You don't have to come up with the closing costs. You don't have to, compete for the house. We have a lot of room. We have $70 million in phase one available right now for purchase. Right now for purchase at $99 and up. We have 3 phases in this building, and this is building number 1 out of many. There, you won't have a shortage. You don't have to find the houses in the shadow market. You don't have to get into bidding wars. You don't have to do any of that stuff, and you're looking at a higher yield than you're most likely looking at in option 1 and 2 without the headaches. And you're doing it in the form of a smart contract, and we'll go over that as well, which is immutable ownership, meaning you own 100%. You have absolute proof that you own it 100%. There's so many reasons why you should love XLT. On top of that, you have a second option. Well, do I want to invest in real estate, or do I want to invest in cryptocurrency? With XLT, you're investing in both. You're investing in both of this simultaneously. You're investing in both. Your XLT, it will represent your ownership in the building, but you know what? They're also putting XLT out there to be traded just like any other cryptocurrency. At the same time, you can use your G999 and you can use it as collateral. We're going to get into that really in depth here shortly. But now let's talk about what do they say on location in real estate? Key location, location, location. I'm going to change a little bit. Location, location, timing. There are 4 different cycles in real estate. There's recession, recovery, hypersupply, and expansion. There's 4 different cycles in a neighborhood. There's growth, stability, decline, renewal. And let me go through all of these. So when you first start a neighborhood, it's brand new, right? You got brand new empty lots. You're putting all the houses, so the neighborhood's growing, right? They're building new houses. Boom, boom, boom. Then it becomes stable. It's all built out. So now it's more stable. People are they're living there, they're raising their families and things of that sort. The sales have slowed down because the growth pattern it's passed. So now it's in stability. But then over years, it becomes old and people are like, oh, gee, I want a newer house. My kids are out of school. I want to move and Then the neighborhoods decline. They go into this declining period. This happens with every single neighborhood everywhere. And then after the houses go through the decline, then what happens, you look to downtown areas, look to all the houses, the fixer-upper houses, and watch all the flipping shows, flipping Las Vegas and all these different, where they're finding these houses and they're fixing them up and they're flipping them. That's called gentrification. It's a renewal process. Where if I'm a real estate investor, there's 2 different times I want to buy. I want to buy in the renewal process, or if I'm not as savvy and I can't find those houses to flip, I want to buy at the very beginning of a growth pattern. At the beginning of a growth, not the tail end, not the middle, the beginning of a growth pattern. And in the market itself, I want to buy at the beginning of a recovery. I don't want to buy in a recession. The reason I don't want to buy in a recession is because I don't know how long the recession may last, and I don't know how bad it's going to get hit. But what if I can time it right after a recession, right at the beginning of a recovery? Then I know the market's going up. And I know if I'm in an area that's growing at the same time, it's a double win. It's a double win. And that's exactly what you've got going on in Dubai right now, especially in the commercial sector of Dubai. Why invest in Dubai? Because the city offers higher rental yields than many other mature real estate markets. On average, investors can achieve gross rental yields of between 5 to 9%. 5 to 9%. Now, here's the beauty of it. The only reason why you are able to buy in a recovery right now is because of COVID-19. COVID is a prank. This is what happened. If you go back, you look at the real estate market in Dubai, which I did starting in 2015 to 2020, it was booming. It was in a growth cycle, just growth, growth. And then you could have even argued hyper supply. There was more supply, but that's not the time to build. Hyper supply is one of the worst times to build when there's more supply than buyers. That's not when you want to buy. You want to buy in the recovery. But what happened is COVID came, and if you look at the GDP of Dubai right now, and I looked at it, if I were to ask you right now, if I had you type in the chat, what do you think drives more money into Dubai than any other industry? Most people say gas and oil, gas and oil, gas and oil, because it was oil for long. Oil built Dubai. But here's the interesting thing. I did my research on this. I looked at Dubai. GDP for gas, oil in Dubai, it's 5%. Tourism was 22%. Tourism. It is one of the fastest growing cities in the world, growing over 100,000 people per year. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But when COVID came and the flight restrictions, travel restrictions, masks, all these different rules, tourism slowed down. It almost stopped. It died for a while. Less people coming into the city, and it went into kind of a recession a little bit because then there was a hyper supply, a lot of empty buildings, because they built, because it was growing, it was booming. So more people were moving in. So they just kept building, filling up these units, filling up these buildings. And then when COVID hit, everything slowed down. So then they went into hyper supply, which caused a recession. But now, because the COVID rules have been lifted, travel has been open to Dubai. I was just out there in June 26th through the 28th, whatever, out there just a couple months ago, loved it. And I saw all this amazing stuff going on in the city. I was in the Burj Khalifa, which is a few buildings down from the building we're talking about today. I started talking to a lot of people out there, and I started researching because I heard about XLT. I got excited. I started researching the market. And I said, hey, what's going on with this building, this building, this building? And I said, oh, John, those are companies building. They're moving in because our economy is opening back up again. Traveling is opening back up again. So now we're going to have another surge, and now the recovery has started. If you go back and you listen to the experts, they're saying about 111% over the next 5 years, not just a full recovery, but more so, because it's going to go right back into that growth pattern that it was in prior to COVID. And look at, you can quote, I'm quote all my sources, all the sources you can see underneath where it says Burj Khalifa area. Underneath there, I've got different links. You can see my sources. I'm not just making these numbers up. This is research I did, so I always like to quote my sources. It is going up about 1.2% a month right now in Dubai. 1.2% a month in Dubai with a full recovery. And this is right before 25 million people come into the city with an expo, business expo that was scheduled last year, and that was bumped to later this year because of COVID. Here's what the interesting thing to me though. I was looking at the $99 cost of XLT, and it was about $1,400 a square foot is what it amounts out to. Well, I looked at the Burj Khalifa area. It's called the Burj Khalifa. There's different districts downtown. The Burj Khalifa district, which is where our building sits. Last year at this time, it was what, $2,154 a square foot. This year, starting in 2020, it was about $1,200, and now it's gone up a little bit. Now we're getting it for about $1,400. With 111% recovery, we're going to dwarf that 2154. We're going to crush that 2154. You want to buy at this beginning. This is the time to do it. It's almost like when cryptocurrency, what do they all say? Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Well, right now you can buy the dip, right? But during a recovery process where it's safe, and you can kind of read all these notes and everything on here, what all these people are saying about the Dubai market. It is about to explode once again, because a lot of companies that are buying commercial properties, these are holding companies. These are companies that operate in several different industries because they're moving their employees over there. They're moving their employees, and guess where a lot of their employees live? Downtown where they work. Downtown where they work, which is right next to us, which is right next to where we are at. This is the kind of stuff I look at as a real estate expert. I don't just look at, okay, it costs X amount of square foot and what do I think I can make? I look at the market. I look at the whole market. Anytime as an appraiser, my job was to tell the bank what the market value is, not what the real estate agent says is worth, not what the homeowner is selling it for. What does a market suggest this house is worth? And you know, I used to have to do appraisals. Needs, I don't know if you know this, but I don't know if I ever told you this. I used to be hired sometimes that said, I need a proactive appraisals. I need appraisals. I need to know what this house is going to be worth in 5 years. I actually had banks come to me. What do you think the value is going to be in 3 years, 5 years? And I had to study the markets and the best I could. And then I had to go back and say, what would this house appraise for 10 years ago? Because sometimes there are lawsuits and different things that were going on, and they come across my desk and say, hey, so-and-so is being sued for blah, 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 blah. So we need you to do an appraisal as of 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, that'd be fun. So I had to go back 10 years, study that market and do an appraisal on the property. Then I had to go up 5 to 10 years and do appraisals 5 years out, 10 years out. This is the stuff I did every single day for years and years and years and years. I know how to research markets in my sleep. And I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, this is a hot market. And you're getting the bonus for it is the cryptocurrencies you're getting on top of it are phenomenal. You're getting a crazy good deal in a booming market. You're getting it for $99, invited to the big boy table where otherwise you could not afford to do this. And you're getting it in a private sale for a certain period of time. Some of us are sitting on our hands. I'm thinking, what are you sitting on your hands for? Time passes. That's one thing we know about time. Time will always pass. And if you're sitting on your hands and you're waiting, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. When you're scratching your head, and this is why they asked me to do these calls to educate and help people understand. Dubai is huge, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the Middle East right now, look at Afghanistan, look no further than Afghanistan. We all know what just happened there. Sad, sad, sad. I was horrified by it. I was actually in tears when I was watching some of that coverage. Sad. And at the same time, it opened up Dubai even more. Because Dubai right now is the safest, more secure place in the Middle East. It's the safest place to live. It gives people modern day lifestyle. There's excellent infrastructure, tax-free, stable economy, very, very tax-friendly for businesses to move into. It's also becoming known as a hub for blockchain technology. What technology is taking over the world right now? It's blockchain. I have so many friends in cryptocurrency, and they're all saying, oh, we're going to Dubai. We're launching a company in Dubai. We're going to Dubai for the launch. Well, I was just over in Dubai for our company's blockchain and our launch. Dubai is becoming known as a tech hub of the world in blockchain technology. It's Dubai. It's Dubai. You can put $99 in this, and for the rest of your life, collect money on this building. This building's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for ages. It's going to be around, way after your lifetime. You can will it to your kids and your grandkids and stuff like that. And you don't have to. And now, can you sell it beforehand? Of course, this is your XLT. You can do whatever you want with it. I told Joseph on a call 2 weeks ago, I said, Joseph, I'm a lifer. There's no way in God's green earth I'm selling my position in XLT. No way. I am holding it all the way to the bitter end because I understand what's going on in Dubai. I understand real estate and I understand cryptocurrency as well. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to watch a short video and then I'm going to take a deep dive into the other ways to earn over and above the XLT itself. And why when people ask me, John, what is the best opportunity in GS Partners right now, I say XLT. I don't even hesitate because I know it's XLT and I'm going to show you how I know this. And I really want people to start having sleepless nights. I want people to understand just how amazing this is because I still think only a few of the members really understand the magnitude of it. So let's watch the short video because this is a building that you are missing out on if you are not buying XLT, but this is a building you will have ownership in if you do. Here we go. Too cool. How many of you thought, honestly, in your lifetime, you can buy into a property like that starting at $99? Think about it. I mean, no way. No way. G9999 Tower. Now, this is a private sale, as we mentioned. There's other income producing opportunities with XLT, Collateral, Lydian World, and others. The closing packets are found at GS Wealth. You can find them on GS Wealth. So just get a free account to GS Wealth. Get in, there's a $9.9 million maximum. And this is all very important because as a private seller, we've got it set up and everything is to be compliant. And compliance, number one. And number two, what I appreciate about Joseph, he's opening it up to the members. Here's the beauty of this. When I spoke with him last Thursday, he is so appreciative of his members and this community, because we as a community are building the value. We're building the foundation for what G99 is going to become and XLT is going to become and what the company is going to become. And a lot of companies, they can say, you know what, we're going to open this up to the masses right now. We're going to do this. No, he's not like that. He wants the members to be fully rewarded because they're the ones that built the foundation. He's loyal. You have a loyal billionaire on your side. That says a lot about this gentleman. I've gotten to know him more on a personal level. I've had a couple conversations with him recently. Just an outstanding person, but it's not just that. He's also smart because he understands by having loyalty all the way down, from starting from the top, you're going to create a lot more synergy. You're going to create a much larger organization, and you're going to create wealth for a lot of people. The more people win, the more successful you become and everyone becomes. And what I love about this, you get XLT, you get paid. And you get G999, you can earn on the value of G999 as it increases. And believe me, I believe it's going to increase in a big way. And we'll get into that. Before I get into that, here's our partners. SAAS Properties, Driven Properties. Driven Properties is one of, if not the largest management companies in the Middle East. They're huge. They're massive. When I was sitting there in Dubai, one of 250 people in that room, I was privileged to hear the owner of Driven Properties up on stage talking about our partnerships for 30 minutes. I was there. I saw it. I was able to tour the building. I was able to see the G999 tower. I was physically there. I was able to walk through our office that we opened up, a 5-story office in Dubai. I sat in the room with Joseph and with his partners, and I was there through the whole thing. When people are questioning this, they need to stop questioning. You know what? Contact Driven. Contract SAAS. They're full partners with us in this project, in this building. It is phenomenal to see names as big as Driven Properties to be involved in this. Do you know why? Because they know the importance of tokenization. They know the future of tokenization. Again, you're being invited to sit on the big boy table. And let's talk about timing again. We know the timing's right in real estate because things are moving over to the blockchain, especially because of the shortage. We know the timing is right in Dubai because the market has changed. It's now in a recovery market, which is where you want to be as a buyer. We're also in phase 1 of 3 phases in the building. Right now, you're getting it for $9.53 instead of $12.52 in phase 2. I say $99, but it's square inch. $9.53 square inch, then $12.52, then $15.68. Then it looks like we can go to market around $18. Try doing that with the rental house. Try getting a rental house for $100,000 and then putting it on the market for $187 the next year. It's not going to happen unless it's a fixer-upper and you dumped a bunch of money into it, and then whatever. It's just not going to happen. But in phases, it can. It's just like when I did appraisals on residential, and I said, okay, phase one, the lots are going to be $100,000. Phase 2, the same exact lots in the same area, maybe a block away or a couple blocks away, are going to be $140,000. Phase 3 is going to be $180,000. Phase 4 is going to be $200,000. It happens every day in real estate. They're setting the market. They're creating the market. Happens. I've flipped properties in phase 1. I've bought empty lots in phase 1 and turned on sold them in phase 3. I did one time, Pelican Bay, right in front of Utah Lake. I bought a lot in Pelican Bay, held it for about 2 months, flipped it, and made about 30 grand on it, just like that. $30,000 instantly. I didn't have to do anything. Except I knew, hey, if I buy it in phase 1, I can turn around and sell it in phase 3 or 4 and make a fortune because I know the value. I know the price is going up because they're setting the market. They're setting the prices. That's exactly what's happening right here, right now. You can get it in phase 1. That's why I'm telling you, get it now. Stop waiting. Why would I wait for phase 2? Why would I want to pay another 25%? No, get it now. Get it in the private sale at phase 1. And then the collateral piece of this. This is the brilliance and the beauty of this. Where every other tokenized project in the world that I have seen says, all right, you can buy into our building, you get a yield on the building. That's it. None of them have this next piece. This is what I love about it. We have G999. Because the reason, it all goes to motive. Why are we offering this building in the form of tokenization? We wanted to create utility and demand and liquidity for a different coin. The others aren't doing that. They're just worried about the coin that's representing their real estate, and that's it. We're not. We have a second coin, G999. What if you can use part of that coin as collateral? And here's the beauty of it. Right now, you can get G999 for about 0.007 of a cent. When I put it up for collateral, corporates basically give me 4 cents, right around 4 cents on it. So they're giving me more than it's worth right now, knowing the value is going to go up. Let me hold it in collateral, and then they're going to pay me 5% for 42 months. Sorry, I got to fix that typo. 36 for money. 42 months, 3.5 years. And then for the rest of my life, they're going to pay 2.5% on that. So I'm not just getting a yield on the building. I'm also receiving 5% on my collateral. Right now, I have close to $1 million G999 as collateral right now that I'm going to make 5% on. As we increase the value of G999 by adding more utility, more buildings, more ways to use it, more ways to spend it, more ways to accept it, increasing the value of my collateral, my payouts will get better. What if, and I believe this will happen over time, that the collateral payouts will exceed those of the payouts on the building itself. Where else are you going to get that in tokenization? That's the answer is simple. You're not. No, we're not. You're not getting that anywhere else. That is phenomenal. That to me is called a safety net, a cushion. Because investors look at it and say, well, what if it slips again? What if the values go down? Okay, great. What about your collateral payouts? Because your collateral is not attached to the building. The collateral is G999. If G999 goes up in value, your payouts get bigger. Because your 5% is going to be 5% on a higher dollar amount. Your 2.5% is going to be 2.5% on a higher dollar amount for life, for the rest of your life if you hold it. You know, you can sell it, you can hold it, you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours. But this is crazy. And then liquidity gets better. Because as this gains more popularity, people say, well, crap, I want that building. I want to buy some. Okay, buy some G999 to get collateral. Because you have an option. You can just get XLT without G999. You can make a yield on the building like everyone else. You can be like everyone else. Or you can add the collateral piece and make money over and above, which is a much better deal for you, much better deal for the investor, much better deal for the buyer. Who's not going to want to do that? Well, guess what? Now you have more people willing to buy G999 solely for this purpose of tokenization only. It's crazy. It is literally creating demand for a second coin simultaneously. So now you have 2 coins that you can get value on, and the real estate and the collateral all at the same time. But it doesn't stop there. I told you earlier in this call that you're going to be able to have 37 ways of earning with just a few clicks of a button, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Access to more buyers, number 1. We talked about the shortage of real estate. Well, you've got liquidity with this because say you want to sell some XLT, great. You have access to buyers around the world. They don't have to live in Dubai to buy XLT. They can live anywhere in the world. How many people are on this call? 463 people. And most of you are in different countries, different states, different cities, different provinces. You're all over the world, aren't you? And you're all watching this. You have buyers all over the world who would want to purchase your XLT. You have access to more. You have reduced cost of entry, standardized transactions, all done through the blockchain. There's so many reasons transparency, because the blockchain is a public ledger. So you get this on a smart contract, recording every transaction involving the cryptocurrencies and virtual tokens running on it. If you buy XLT, you have immutability. It means immutable ownership, because the transaction has been recorded, cannot be changed, it cannot be altered in any way, shape, or form. So you are 100% owner of those inches, those feet, whatever it is, and you're going to get based off of what you own, you're going to get a yield. But on top of that, the collateral piece. I don't know if people understand how big the collateral piece truly is, but it's massive. It's a second form of income. It's almost like a gift on top, because you don't see it anywhere else in tokenized or any other real estate. 25 plus years in real estate, I've never seen it, not one time until now. That's why I get so excited about that. So people keep asking me about ownership. So let's cover that before we dive a little deeper and then wrap this up. You are buying square feet or square inches. If you walk into a building right now, how many of you live in a condominium, apartment complex, whatever? If you have a condo, you buy the condo, you own the air rights in that condo. You own the rights from the walls to the walls. You own that in what they call fee simple ownership, absolute ownership. But you do not own the swimming pool area. You do not own any of the common areas. You share those in the form of common ownership or tenancy in common, when two or more persons hold title to real estate jointly, or they have the tenancy in common. So it means they're common areas. So if you buy square feet in a building, you're not going to get a deed, nor should you get a deed, because they don't have a deed for every square foot in that building. If you buy a whole unit, like say you buy a whole suite or a whole condo, then yeah, you'll get a deed for that unit, but you're not going to get a deed for 10 square feet or 20 square feet or 30 square feet. You're going to get a smart contract, however, which is a self-executing contract with the terms of the agreement between buyer and seller being directly written to the lines of code, cannot be changed, completely irreversible, and are trackable to you. Smart contracts permit trusted transactions and agreements to be carried out among disparate, anonymous parties without the need for central authority, legal system, or external enforcement mechanism. That's why people love blockchain so much. It makes people honest. You will receive a smart contract. You are buying a voucher. That voucher will go into a smart contract. You will have full ownership. If you buy a full unit, then there is a deed assigned to that unit. But if 50 people own one unit, out of those 50 people, who's going to hold the deed? That's the problem. So that's why when people ask, well, why don't I get a deed for 20 square feet? That's why, because who's going to hold it? If 50 people own one unit, we can't just give one person the deed and nobody else. The management company will hold on the deed. You all get smart contracts. If you buy each other out and you buy the full unit, here's your deed. But otherwise, you're in common ownership, which is true with any other fractionalized or tokenized project in the world. It's no different. We're the same as anybody else in regards to ownership. So I wanted to explain that as well, how that works. Commission structure, another way to get paid. Refer others to XLT. Refer people with it, have them come into GS partners for $49 for the year. Become a partner for $49. Boom. Come in for whatever. Pay $49 and then have access. Have access, and then you can refer people. If it's a direct referral, you'll make 18%, 4%, 3.22 all the way down back up to 6%. That's 18% of 30%. So if they buy 100,000, it's 30,000. That's commission. Well, 18%, which is 5.4%, which is almost twice as much as a real estate agent getting 3%. Think about it that way. If there's any agents listening in, if you're having a hard time finding listings or houses because there's a shortage, here's your answer right here. You understand real estate. You know everything I've said on this call has been 100% accurate. I know it has, because I've been teaching real estate for many, many decades. I eat, sleep, live, breathe real estate. I understand extremely well. I'm telling you right now, this is a great opportunity for any agent, for anybody looking to make an extra income. And what are you referring people to? For $99 an you can get commercial real estate, you can get paid on collateral. And now, what I've been telling you about, the other 37 ways to make money. Lydian world. Lydian world. So let's talk about Lydian world a little bit. This is where I get so excited. All of this is attached. All of this is linked together. My XLT is linked to Lydian world in the sense that I have G999 as collateral. Well, Lydian world is the worldwide marketplace that's being built right underneath our feet right now. And we have thousands and thousands of members that are participating in the Lydian world, and every single one of them, I believe, is very smart to do so. We have merchants that want access to us. We're an asset. We have 130,000 members and growing. Every time we sign up a new member, a merchant is thinking, hey, that's a potential new customer. What am I willing to pay to have access to a growing community of potential loyal customers? Why do I say loyal? Easy. I was at lunch a couple weeks ago with a gentleman named Mark, a big investor, and he looked at me and said, okay, I love the Lydian world. Let's answer one question for me. Why would I buy in Lydian world before I buy in Amazon, another marketplace that I'm familiar with? I looked at him and I said, Mark, does Amazon pay you to be a member? He said, no. I said, okay. Does Amazon pay you to refer other members? He said, no. I said, that's why you would buy from us. He thought about it for a minute and said, oh my gosh, you're 100% right. And so I threw an analogy at him and say, hey, I'm going to give you a red bicycle. It's a Schwinn. I'm going to give you this bicycle in Lydian world, this bicycle in Amazon, at Amazon. They're both $150, whatever. I said, if you buy the one in Lydian world, you're now $150. Now you made another merchant happy in Lydian world. Now that merchant may say, okay, listen, I'm going to continue marketing in Lydian world. And what do I have to do to pay for my marketing? I have to buy G999. And when I buy G999, I am now feeding into the demand. I am increasing the demand on G999. My ticket to all of these potential buyers is G999. I have to buy G999 to be out in front of these potential buyers. These potential buyers will be loyal because they know that they're adding to an ecosystem being built for them. And these potential buyers have certificates in countries in Lydian world. And they're countries because of these purchases, because of card swipes and the white label and all these other things. But because of staking pools and DeFi pools being set up in these countries, they're making a residual income as long as this community exists. And as this community grows, they make more residual income. So why in the world would they buy from anywhere else? The answer is they wouldn't. Most people wouldn't. You don't think the merchants know this? How much more valuable is Lydian world now to the merchants? It becomes very valuable. So every single merchant that is buying marketing space for Lydian world knows that he or she needs to buy G999, which is what? It's going to raise the value of G999 because it raises the demand for G999 and your liquidity to sell it on the back end, all happening at the same time. On top of that, we've got the white label. We won't even have time to go into all the white label, but let me give you just a very short part of them, just a summary. The white label is people's ability to put their name and logo on our card that we pay out in 169 countries. I spoke to Joseph about the white label for at least an hour and a half call. We probably talked about white label for at least 30 minutes on Thursday. Oh my goodness. He knows there's a huge demand for this card. We have another major problem. We have companies here in Utah, which is the networking capital mecca of the world. I live and I know executives of many, many companies out here. In fact, one of them I'm very, very good friends with. We have had multiple discussions. We have many, many companies just banging down our doors, wanting our card because they're having issues paying their members and people in other countries around the world. It's stunting their growth. It's making it hard for them to operate. They want our card. Here's the beauty of it. They get our card, they put their logo on it, they send it out to their millions and millions of people around the world. They swipe the card, that card is burning our supply, but at the same, it's not just a burning, and that's what I want you to understand. Most members think, okay, great, they're going to burn our supply. That's a good thing, but it's more than that. How do you think they're going to pay for the card and pay for the services? You also think they're going to have to buy G999 to set people up, to activate, to pay each of their members. They're going to have to use G999 to set up the whole thing, which creates more demand, more liquidity. Every time they swipe G999, it's being burned, and part of those swipe, part of those fees are being inserted into Lydian World, where you own a certificate because you bought real estate. And here's a list of 35 countries right now for 999. So we did the math. 999 Lydian lions will buy you citizenships in 35 countries. I want you to look at this. There's a fee for the country in the staking pool currently in that country. That means all of these countries have staking pools where just by having a certificate in that country, you are being paid off of these staking pools a percentage all the time because you bought XLT. Because we have something called Drive for 5. You click $99, 15% of it goes into collateral. Now I'm getting paid on my G999. $85 of that, 85% goes to this. Every time you do that, you get 99 Lydian lions. Look at this price for this one, 0.65 Lydian lions, 1.7 Lydian lions, 2.8, $99 can buy you a bunch of these countries, can it? You do this 5 times, then you get double. You get 1,000 Lydian lions because you get your 99 plus your 500, so really 995 Lydian lions, which pretty much buys you 35 countries. That's 35 additional sources of income because you did Drive for 5 once or twice. You tell me anywhere in the world you're going to get something like this with tokenized real estate, a rental property, anywhere. The answer is you're not. You're simply not. What you're looking at right here is brilliantly orchestrated. It's a brilliant plan. We need to be plugged in. We need to be plugged in 100%. Then on top of all of this, we know we've got the bank coming out. We know we've got other ways to leverage. What if, hey, I collect the rental income on the building. I get paid on the collateral on the building. I get Lydian lands. I'm making money off of Lydian World. What if you took some of that money and you put it into the bank and made up to 12.5% on it? What if you put it into our other staking in DeFi and made 5%, 7.5%? We have some that are paying out 11.99%. This is how people get rich. This is how wealthy people get wealthy. Stop chasing. Tell the squirrels that are promising you $100,000 in 30 days. That's not reality. Reality is precision. Reality is coming in behind people who have been there and done that and know how to make money and following the experts and their advice, listening to what they have to say, and create your own wealth over time, over smart execution, and over leverage. And it can all start with XLT. That is why when people ask me what is the best opportunity in GSP, it's XLT, 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 period. It all starts there, and it can catapult you to a lot of success. So with that, Nitsa, I want to thank you for allowing me on, and I will turn it back over to you.
Well, that was absolutely amazing, Mr. John Johnson. Wow, incredible. I just have to say, John, you know, I knew you were a corporate trainer.
Introducing the most flexible crypto card in the world. 5 traditional currency accounts, including USD, GPB, EUR, CNY, and JPY. Currency exchange rates better than high street banks. Manage all your crypto and traditional currencies with one simple platform. Add funds to your account via bank transfer, credit and debit card, or crypto proceeds. Spend or withdraw your funds anywhere credit and debit cards are accepted. Exclusive plastic, aluminum, stainless steel, gold-plated, and solid gold cards available. 24/7 global support in multi-languages. 24/7 professional concierge services. Up to 40% discounts on hotel and travel. Instant rewards from high street retailers. Fast delivery to over 100 countries. Order your GS Lifestyle card today.